Most women can clench their glutes, but very few women can actually use them. And that distinction matters more than you think, because clenching is not the same as firing or loading. And that difference is exactly why your glutes are not growing, no matter how much you train them. So let me show you something specific, a protocol I call the 20-20-20-20. It rewires the neuromuscular connection between your brain and your glutes. This is what I use with beginners before we do anything else, because until your glutes know how to work, your squat won't work, your bridge won't work, and your back will keep taking over. Let me tell you about one client. She had been wearing a 15-pound radiology vest at work for 10 years. Her physical therapist diagnosed her with gluteal amnesia, or dead butt syndrome. The vest didn't help, endless bridges didn't fix it, but this did. Let me show you exactly how. So many women come in and they think that they're using their glutes. So many people have said this to me many times. Gosh, I really thought, because my butt was big, I had big glutes. That doesn't equate. A lot of times too, when I start working with a client, they'll start to notice that they never really felt their glutes working before. They would feel them squeezing and clenching, but never really carrying their load. A lot of times, other things that would contribute to firing or misfiring would be quads, hip flexors, and sometimes their low back. And when they learn how to actually use their glutes, then they notice how weak they actually are. So many women have a series, there's an actual diagnosis for this. It's called gluteal amnesia or dead butt syndrome. There was even a client, and she gave me permission to use this story, that she wore a vest at work because she worked in kind of like an ultrasound, MRI, X-ray type, environment. So she had to wear the radiology vests, right, which are heavy. They're like 15 to 20 pounds. And she came in and she was actually told by her physical therapist that she had gluteal amnesia. So here she was wearing this vest for 10 years, right? Did it help her use her glutes at all? No. So a lot is involved with being able to get the glutes to fire properly. So often for beginner clients, we focus on getting glutes to work. This exercise that we're going to talk about is the glute bridge 20-20-20-20. The 20s are the reps for each version of the glute motion that we're going to be using. So there was the prior video on how to do a glute bridge properly, because we want to make sure that you are not using your back, okay, or your hip flexors or quads in glute bridges, which is very common. Sometimes I'll tell people too to use a wedge pillow underneath them. Right now I'm going to do the video without the wedge pillow underneath their shoulders and their head to keep their posterior tilt in their rib cage. That's what the wedge pillow is helpful for. But in this case, I'm going to do it just flat, and using sometimes a resistance band can help. So not only do you want to just use the band and rely on that to create the sensation or the neuromuscular connection in your glutes, but you also want to make sure that you're positioning your rib cage and pelvis correctly. So for the glute bridge 20-20-20-20, I'm going to lay on your back. Okay, put the band up above your knees and make sure you have a band that is strong enough, not too strong that you can't abduct it or move it across you, but you want to make sure that it is strong enough that you feel tension. So going to lay down, okay, in this position. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a breath in, exhale. Feel your spine make contact with the mat. Don't push down really hard. Don't try ultra hard, right? Just notice that you have contact to your back, to the mat, okay? And then you're going to slowly push up, okay? And make sure that you feel your feet press into the floor. Make sure you feel your heels press into the floor, and then also to big toe, little toe contact. You don't want to have more of front foot contact, like the balls of your feet, and no heel contact. You want to make sure that you have some heel contact. And then also too, what you could feel is the sensation of just pulling your feet back towards you. So feel like you're kind of gliding the mat towards you, but you're not actually sliding your feet. Okay, we're not actually sliding our feet. We're just holding that position. Then when you're here, Okay, make sure that you feel the bottom of your glute max holding you. If you are pressed up super high and you feel your hip flexors working or this part of your back working, then that's not correct. Okay, so you want to come down a little bit, and sometimes I would actually put my finger under somebody's gluteal area and I'd say, let your body sit on my finger, right? Because then they turn off the front side of them. So you want this area, your hip flexors and your quads, to not be tight and engaged. Okay, you want that to kind of feel like, oh, okay, this is relaxing, this is holding. Then when you're in this first position, the first 20 that you're going to do is going to be 20 reps. I am just going to do 5 to 10 reps of this just for demonstration, but you're going to press the band apart while keeping your feet flat on the floor. You don't want your feet to rotate outside. You want to make sure that your feet stay contact on the floor with your big toe, little toe, heel pressure, and inner arches as you press apart. As you press apart, also notice that your rib cage has to posteriorly press down. So you want to feel like that is close to your rib cage and pelvis. Now you're going to feel the side part of your glutes, okay, or your glute medius, right? So that's the outside part. You should also feel the glute max just holding you stable. The glute max is the area that makes contact with the top part of your hamstring, the very bottom part of your glute. When you press out and in, so you're going to go out and in for about, I'm going to just keep doing reps here, but you're going to go up to 20 reps, but you want to feel the tension on the outside. After you get to the 20 reps, then you're going to do your glute bridge down and up. Okay, the exercise that we did before, the abduction, the pressing apart, does not involve a down and up movement. It involves an abduction, okay, of your legs, a pressing apart of your legs. And in the abduction, right, is your glute medius working. Okay, so after you do the glute abduction, then you're going to go down and up, and you're going to do 20 reps just down and up, and that's working more of your glute max. But you have to pay attention to make sure that, is it my glutes moving me, or is it my hip flexors pulling me? It should not be hip flexors pulling you. It should be your glutes pushing you. Then after you do 20 reps of the glute bridge down and up, then you're going to do the abduction out to the right, but you're going to hold the left leg stable. So we're holding this left leg stable while we're moving out to the right. And you want to pay attention to your foot position. Don't let your foot leave the floor as you're moving your leg. So now this is teaching your left leg or your left glute to hold stable. Also too, notice your rib cage, your internal oblique connection, your core connection. As you're moving that right leg out, all of this area, your zone of apposition, should be staying intact or stable, okay, while you're moving the other leg out to the right. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now your right leg is going to hold stable, and you're going to move the left leg out to the side. Now you have to pay attention to many things. You have to pay attention to your foot position. You have to pay attention to your core, okay, that you have a good posterior tilt in your rib cage. You have to pay attention to what muscles are holding you. So I'm asking you to do many things at once. It's like rubbing your stomach, patting your head, walking, chewing gum with one eye closed. Okay, you have to pay attention to all of those things, and that's a skill in itself. So after you finish those 20, 20, 20, 20, so the 20, again, just to clarify, the first set of 20 is the abduction, both legs abduct, press apart. The other 20 is the glute bridges down and up, okay? The third set of 20 is one leg, my left leg staying stable, my right leg abducting. So I'm working, okay, against that left leg. Then the fourth set of 20 is my right leg staying stable, my left leg abducting, okay? So those are your 20, 20, 20, 20. That is one set. And I usually suggest that people do 3 sets of those. So if one set is about 80 reps total, okay? 3 sets, yes, do the math, 80 times 3, 240 reps. But I have found this to be a very good exercise to neuromuscularly connect again. And if you have dead butt syndrome or gluteal amnesia, it is really important that you work to understand how to fire your glutes properly, and not by clenching. You shouldn't have to clench them in order to get that sensation, because yes, we can clench it and feel it, but it's not the same thing as positioning your body in a certain way that then therefore the glute works. So this exercise has been very helpful for people, and I have used this exercise to then progress them to doing other things. So now their glutes know how to operate. So practice the Glute Bridge 2020-2020. Use a medium band. Okay, I suggest the cloth bands better than the rubber bands. You can find these on Amazon, really cheap. They're all over the place. There's so many different brands, but honestly, I've tried all different brands and I don't necessarily have a favorite. I just buy pretty much whatever is on sale at the time. So these ones work. This is a medium strength band, and then you could progress to the strong strength band.